Okay, so welcome to another episode. This is, I just looked in the thing, this is session 12 for Saving Arcana. Since the beginning, this is episode 20. I know it's kind of a weird offset number because we split in half and we didn't for a while anyways. Only 12 sessions, 6 months later, here we are. When I went back and listened, we had one microphone in the middle, and then we're now this. This is insane. And we've come so far. So thank you for everybody that's listening and watching, and thank you to my players. This is a glow up for 6 months, to say the least. So quick shout out to Instagram. We just crushed over 100 followers, which seems really small to everybody, but it's not for us. Like, that's awesome. So thank you, everybody. And if you haven't followed us on any kind of social media, it's Saving Arcana everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, no Facebook, because why? And then website. And then if you find us on the podcast, we're everywhere, and so on and so forth. Today, we're going to get right into it, and we're going to have some fun, maybe some death, maybe some love making. Yeah. Ooh, who knows? I mean, Mr. Robot, maybe. So we're just going to go ahead and rein it in and get right into the episode. Last bit is just a serious thank you. Thank you for all of our listeners. You guys are just incredible. So, incredible. There we go. Start us off with introductions.
Hi, I'm Kate. I play Voquis, Firbolg Ranger level 6. Excited for the session.
Cool. Steve.
I'm Alex, not Steve. I play Steve. We've been over this. I'm a extremely depressed human tax accountant. Sorcerer on the side.
The magic's no big deal.
It's kind of to the side, secondary to his primary purpose. Taxes.
Well, thank you, Steve.
That's what he lives for.
What's up, adventurers? Nick here, playing Balrog, and possibly voicing Balrog today. We'll see.
Is it going to debut today? Is that what you're saying?
I think today is the debut.
I hope it's like my gnome voice. Like this big electric dinosaur with this high pitch.
I wish
that'd just be glorious. Yeah. Maybe the guy with no lips. That's why.
You might be disappointed then. We'll see.
Cool.
I wish your gnome voice wasn't your gnome voice.
Oh,
I do too. Oh, that is a knife in the heart
for somebody who doesn't do voices. That's like my go-to. Now, Steve will die today, and.
I was a big fan of No Lip Guy, though.
Oh yeah,
he was good. Bring him back.
That was improv at its finest. Let me tell you. Start.
Hello, my name's Dustin. I play Bruce Rockbar. He's a pretty good guy. He's Barbarian, level 6, big fighter. Hopefully, I'll find his voice eventually. I'm gonna try all the voices out until I find the one I like for Bruce.
Well, it's really just been this like wave of like I think I've got it, and then you'd like.
Well, then
Australian.
I test it on people, and then they're like, "Oh no, that's not good." It's like, "Oh."
What? Give me I'm gonna put you on the spot. Give me. You called me yesterday on the way home. Give me that voice. The
Rocky Balboa.
The Rocky Balboa. Let's hear it.
Oh, yo, Bruce Rockbar. You know, I like to fight. I like to hit things in the face. You know, that's the way I rock. You know.
I'm not gonna lie. That might be a winner for me. Like, I really could imagine him with just like, hey, Adrian, like, this is my axe, Adrian. Like, I don't go anywhere without it.
That is stellar.
So I'm not gonna lie. It sounds way better in person than over the phone. I was like, ooh. But you know, test it out if you want. It's not like we care. You know, do anything that you want. And I am your DM. You can call me Daddy. Well, don't call me Daddy. Don't do that.
I'm gonna do that. Why are you looking at me?
Everyone else can. It's not you.
Was it just a lock on lies? You can call me Daddy.
Yeah, I'm sweating now.
I'm gonna
start too.
I'm gonna start doing that, man. Daddy, can I roll investigation?
No, son. No, you cannot.
I'm just going to call you God. Is that wrong?
No, that's very wrong.
That's 100% wrong. We're just going to cut that out.
My name's John. I'll be your DM. Just so everybody knows, this Saving Arcana was the first time I've ever DM'd. Ever. First session was the first time I've ever DM'd that was live. It's been a long road, and I have a lot to learn, and Voquis, you had like 8 months of play before, right? But 5e was still new because you were actually on 3?
Yeah, so I was playing, fun fact, I was playing in a 3-5 game for about a year and a half.
3, 5, and 5e though.
They're so completely different, and I mean,
Yeah.
I was playing 3-5, but
Yeah.
like I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
Not
so-
that I know what I'm doing, but
So that's why I basically stated, hey, these are all brand new adventurers, because for you, even though you kind of had a background of it, it's
Yeah.
5e. You three, with the session with me, was your first time ever playing.
Yeah.
So even with Voquis being a part of the story for the entire time, we're all very new to this. And I just want to state that it's awesome to play with you guys, and you guys have been an absolute thrill, and I can't wait for today's episode. So with that, let's get right into it. Last session, you guys traveled, went through some portals of magical spheres, not portals, and you made it to the giant construct of Spider Town. And you met Sheldon and his son and the makeshift town of these people in Criswalla. Criswalla being the name of the spider construct, which was made by Sheldon, the 9th level wizard tinkerer who creates these crazy contraptions. You, Voquis and Bruce went down and worked in the mine as as Criswalla buries itself into the ground and creates a mine shaft. You guys spent the entire night and brought a bunch of mine gems up from the mine, and they paid you handsomely for that. After that, Sheldon had a job for the tax accountant, and the tax accountant rolled so high that he found there's corruption afoot in this town of craziness. And yeah, that's something.
I think that's beyond corruption at that point.
Oh,
4 million gold is
4
just gone. That's
that's like some Wall Street level
yeah,
stuff.
that's insane.
So that's what you did, and where we basically left off was Balrog's sucking on this teat of electricity and shot his load of electricity into this robot thing, and it said, "Daddy," and you said, "Yes, I'm your master," and Sheldon was pretty pissed, and then I guess you're sticking around for a little bit longer. And that's where we left off, with good old robot going, what's life? You guys got some items, and like I said last time, days have passed. Now that you guys have had to stick around for a few days, 3 days have passed. I want to go around the table. In those 3 days, you need to tell me what you have done and or what you've been working on in these 3 days, and then that's where we'll start. So, Voquis, you want to start us off?
sure. So I am going to mess around with that amulet that I got,
The opal?
the opal.
From the child? Is that what you're...
the cat?
Oh, the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to try and just say hi to the cat.
Sure.
What does the cat look like when I...
So with you working with this, as it was an item given from Sheldon, and he was kind of crazed about it, like, think you'll like this. This little bastard, he keeps doing stuff. So he gave you this item, and you summon the cat familiar, and it's a black cat, and the cat has this little hat on its head, and it looks at you and goes, "You got any yarn?
I can find you yarn.
I need something to play with. If you got any, stuff for the cat, I would love a little, sniff." And then over these few days, you begin to start a rapport with this cat. You learn that his name is... Let you pick.
Ooh.
It's a he.
Okay.
Put her on the spot.
Yep.
Right.
Come up with a name for the cat. The cat speaks to you because it's not a normal cat familiar. This was a... you know what? I'll make you roll for this. Do an arcane check. And give it an advantage because you're pretty arcane-y. Not really. I just want to give you advantage.
His name is Jeff, by the way.
Jeff the cat.
Jeff. And
What's your
then-
arcane check?
19.
19, high enough. You over these 3 days, you find out that Jeff was actually an assistant many years ago to Sheldon. And through some horrible experiments and things gone wrong, his spirit was infused with his famous cat familiar. And now his soul is stuck within the cat, but he just kind of acts like a cat because his soul was torn between half cat and half of this actual human. So he just pretty much talks in the same voice as that person, but this cat familiar is not so helpful. He's super lazy. He just lays around, and he constantly asks for his catnip, which doesn't really do anything for him. It's just a downer, so he just kind of lays there and twitches on the ground like, oh, yeah, this is my stuff, and he loves it.
Can I procure yarn and catnip for Jeff?
Absolutely, without a problem. You procured at least an eighth of just an eighth of this, and on your way home, you were really excited about it, and you didn't realize when you got in that you left the bag, and he got into the whole eighth and snorted all of it, and he's been on the ground for so long that you're kind of questioning whether or not he's dead.
Can I do a medicine check on this?
You poke him, and he just kind of goes, oh, yeah. And his eyes are just fluttering. He's just in another dimension.
I'm just gonna sit cross-leggedly with him in my lap on his back, like a baby, and just pet his tummy.
You can at any time dismiss him back into the amulet,
Can
but
the cat speak common so the cat can talk?
cat can talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
His name is Jeff.
Sorry.
So this isn't a Doolittle situation where she can understand
she's
it.
all
No,
Okay.
no, everyone can hear this drug addict cat that just wants catnip all the time.
I
Not
love
helpful.
this scenario you've created so much.
And I'm just babying him. Anytime he asks for catnip, he absolutely gets it. He is a spoiled little cat.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the pudgy of the pudge. Those
chunk.
cat that he's a chunk, but he's got that short hair. What's the cat name where it's got the really short face?
Oh,
The tiny
like
ears.
Grumpy Cat?
No.
I know, the gray ones that are like
the great
smushed.
smush face cats. That's what he looks like. If I have to pull up, but basically he's just like, can you just give me some catnip, please? His eyes are always closed. He smells of popcorn all the time.
This is so good. Just like, hey man, need another QP of that nip.
It's just give me a small bud of that catnip, please. So that's what you work with him. When he comes out of his haze, you realize that he can do some things for you. You don't really train him tricks. It's more like, hey, it's a bartering system. I'll give you some if you go scout up. Just like a normal familiar, you can transfer your eyes to him and see through Jeff's eyes. So it's a little bit of a scout, a bit.
I know that I get one charge per day. How long does he last?
As long as you want.
Sweet.
So he will stay out, and he could stay out, but if he takes any damage or if he gets punted or he gets stuck in a door or something happens, he's going to and then back into the amulet. He cannot die. Put it that way. Steve, what do you got going on? Or was there anything else that you just working with the amulet for? Great.
All right, Steve wants to hit the ground running on his accounting investigation.
Okay.
So I think I'm kind of going through the whole mining process from start to finish and examining everything really closely, trying to figure out where stuff is getting bled off.
Sure. In these 3 days, I'm just going to go with that a bit. In these 3 days, you've sat down with Sheldon, gave him the news. He was super flabbergasted, and he had no idea, as he thought it was only a couple 100,000. He introduces you to a new character named Jax. He's a pretty gruff-sounding gnome, but he's crazy. You don't, when you meet him, you're like, there's something really... Think of, the extreme guys who are like, let's go snowboarding right now. Dude, it's July. Snowboarding! That's Jax. He's jacked all the time. Doritos! Yeah, that is Jax. And so Jax was the person, I said that there were 3 characters who had access to it. Jax is the third person, as he is the deliverer to the far side. So you get to meet Jax, and you start to realize that he's a bit off his rocker, but Jax and Sheldon are close, like brothers. They're not blood related, as everyone else in that family is blood related in a weird form. Mind you, this was a big family in a town of gnomes, which the family got up and moved, and they're basically running. It's not because of inbreeding. I saw that face. The thing is, Jax is not blood related. This is an old time friend. He's a stranger, but he is stranger only because he came with them. He fled with them. Past that, anything else that you're working on? The books? You're just reading more on it, trying to just get more information, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of working towards that thing
Sure.
that we talked about.
On your time, you have, because they fully trust you, by day 2.5, you have time alone.
Awesome.
As you have been able to gain their trust and be able to look at and go over the numbers yourself. Excellent. Cool. Balrog.
So within the 3 days, I think just a few things. I want to procure the best possible carrots that this town has to offer.
Absolutely.
For Oscar. I think that's a given.
You have a giant bag of carrots. Now, they have a lifespan. Carrots don't stay forever, but yeah, you just have a giant bag. And I'm guessing you've been feeding them the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to speed this up a bit, and you have been able to train with Oscar. He now has the ability to do a claw attack. While you're mounted, you can have him take his right or left claw and do a swiping motion. The claw does 2d6 damage, and it's a swipe, so it can hit anything within the first 5 feet in front of it. So it's a claw swipe. It's not just one person. You can hit multiple people if they're all in front of you. This takes at least a couple of your days, but you were able to do that with Oscar.
Okay. Just a quick question. Rolling to hit, obviously, with that, right?
Correct.
I don't just roll for damage. So
it'll be whatever your roll to hit with your weapon, that's the equal of. So as you level up and your weapon gets better, he's also going to get better. It's for ease of mind. Well, whatever your weapon does, that's what he does too. There's probably more to that, I'm guessing.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so,
there it is.
So you're saying on the last couple of days, or I spent 2 days with Oscar doing that. On the final day is when I work with my robot all day.
Sure. So what is the robot doing? Is there anything that? You know what? I'll flavor this. I got that. Last day, I'm gonna take your wording. Okay. So for the last 2 days, you've had this robot literally walking behind you for the majority of the time. Mind you, he is a slim body. His body is made of stone, and it looks like a human's body. Arms, biceps, everything of stone, even down to the fingers, they're made of stone. It is this weird automaton with actuators and a living soul in its chest. There's movement, there's ethereal kind of ness in its body. Some underneath, you can kind of hear clockwork and different mechanics. The head is made of steel. It's a cone, not a cone. It's a cylinder with the light bulb in the center with side facing. Right. That's to paint the picture. He has been following you around like a child on follow, like in World of Warcraft. You put follow, you're just walking behind, like step, step, step. And do you do anything with him during these couple days?
Other than, I guess, maybe just trying to build a better connection. I'm glad you said ethereal. So can the robot and Oscar communicate with each other? Because, mind you, Oscar is ethereal.
Sure. No. 2 different types of magic.
Okay.
During this time, we're going to just RP a couple things here because they're pretty interesting. As you're walking around, you're doing your stuff with Oscar. Oscar always messes with the children. He's kind of a jerk and like punts them a little bit. The kids love him, and there's this moment of what's his name?
The robot?
Yeah,
Petrol.
Okay, good. That's a good name. You've in this conversation, you've given him a name, and he materializes this in his body, and he says, Petrol. Huh. What do you want me to do? Can I just learn from you?
Yes.
Okay. And he will follow you, and he sees the children playing with Oscar, and he kind of May I as well? Referring to the children, like playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he'll go over, and he's too strong. He's kind of like that lumbering oaf, but he thinks he's got the mind of the children, and he plays. The children make him like a hat, and he's got the kids hanging off him. It's one of those like big moments, like, oh, robots playing with children, like, oh. But he also does a couple of things that he shouldn't. He doesn't know his strength, and he is supposed to understand the difference, and he ends up injuring a civilian while you guys are walking around. The civilian was in the wrong as he was following behind you. The civilian walked into him and then started a bit of a loud, aggressive speech. And he's, "You stupid robot, man! What's the deal? He ran right into me. You got that thing on a leash?" And so you have this back and forth with him where people are not very trusting, as this is not a normal automaton. They're riding on an automaton, but they don't trust the fact that it's basically a child with the strength of a god. I mean, automatons are insane. And you test this. You know that automatons are pretty strong. There's huge boulders that there's no way you can move, and he's easily able to. Whenever he uses his energy, you can see like the stones crack a bit, and this blue ethereal light comes through his skin or stone, and he can pick up huge boulders and move them. And you're just like, okay, all right. So this is what happens over the couple days. Is there something on the last day that you specifically want to do? No? Okay. All right. Well, we'll just play off that for the sake of time. Bruce. Last 3 days.
So Bruce was given the money, which is great.
Yeah.
He has the scroll as well.
Yep.
So instead of asking Steve, he just went to the library and tried to teach himself how to read.
Abyssal.
Yeah.
So
and
just
so he's going, no, that's wrong. B. Oh, that's wrong too.
I like this. Give me a what is a learning check? There's
Intelligence.
Intelligent?
I don't know if I want. It's like
Wisdom?
that's. Give me an intelligence check at advantage because you're spending 2 days trying to learn an abyssal
that was poor.
It's gotta be a high
alphabet.
check.
Yeah.
So it's 18?
Oh, you were close. It was 20. So you spend the first day and you are failing, super frustrated, and you just cannot figure out the alphabet for abyssal to translate.
What's so hard?
That's day one. That's how you spend it. Day two,
Day two, I just end up going back to the mine as I need more money.
Bruce knows that he speaks abyssal. This is canon. It's already been talked about.
Yeah.
You can absolutely
Go to Steve.
Yeah, you know this. It's not like something you wouldn't
Bruce
know.
walks to the office and like, do. Steve, I need your help.
Come in!
Okay.
Steve's like a completely different person when he's on accounting. He's very happy. What can I do for you, Bruce?
Steve, read words.
Okay.
Tell Bruce how to say words.
Well, if I read this out loud, I get this won't do anything for you. So I'm going to write it down. Can you read anything? No offense. Just, we got to work this out.
Hold on. I know how to read.
Everyone knows common.
I know common and giant.
Okay, we can do common. Come back in about an hour and I'll have this translated for you.
Okay. So Bruce like goes out and is like, can I arm wrestle a robot? I want to see how
You
strong
can try.
he is. Oh boy.
There it
Do
is.
I need to roll
there
a
it
strength
is.
check?
So
You will lose.
you have to show the automaton what to do. Good old Petrol has no idea, so they bring a table out, and you're like, no, elbow goes here, and like open, and Bruce, you go up and you put your hand, and somebody says, okay, now clasp, and you squeeze. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. As
he is going to hurt
Petrol squeezes your hand with a lot of force.
22.
22.
I'm a big dude.
I'm going to give you a choice. I'm going to give you a choice. You can have a broken hand for a week.
Aw.
A broken hand for a week.
Okay.
Or you can take 20, let's say 20 damage right now.
Well, I might need my hand.
It's up to you.
I'll take 20 damage. I'm 65.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, so he crushes your hand. Thankfully, it crushes it to the point that it's just this mangled hamburger meat, and it's just everyone's like, "Oh!" You take 20 points of damage. Yeah, he obviously when he does this, and if is everybody here except for Steve or Voquis? Are you here? Or are you off playing with the cat?
I'm playing with the cat.
Jaffy Jaff. Okay, so you're there. Both of you roll perception rolls to see if you see what happens when he does this.
17.
It's like
19.
no, it like escaped out of me like a ghost. Remember the episode where the souls popped out? That's literally a soul just came out of me. Thank you, Coke.
18.
18, 17. You both see this. When he closes his hand, like a child, not knowing what he's doing, he's like, oh, close. His light and all the ethereal light in him turns to a dark magenta. As people are like, no, 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 and you scream out of pain, he immediately lets go out of fear, and that magenta then, out of what you can imagine an automaton would have fear, and they go, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay, Petrol. You're very strong.
He's got this demeanor where he's like slinking away, and he goes, Master, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Petrol. Just try to be careful next time.
I'm sorry. That got me good. I fucking wow, there was one. I love that voice. First off, fantastic. Oh man, I can't look at you now. So that caught me good.
Tell your robot I'm not mad at him.
The robot,
It's okay.
Petrol has this fear, and Master, I don't want to hurt friends.
Oh no.
Oh, that's good.
Is he going to be okay?
He will be fine.
Can I help? And he's going to take his hand, and from the stone where he has the fingers, he's going to do an action where the blue light comes from his arm, fades, and pools into his hand. His fingers will dislocate all together like a syringe. And then a blue light will appear at the tip, and goes, I don't know what this does, but it felt proper. My system is telling me to prick his hand with this. May I?
Stick needle in arm.
And he extends his arm from where he's staying 15 feet back over to you and sticks this stone-like needle into your hand. I can imagine you scream.
Oh,
And immediately the blue energy goes from his hand, and your fingers go, and it's back to 100%. You regain 20 points of healing.
Cleric bot 9,000.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so his arm retracts back, and then his fingers back out to normal. That's good to know. I think I need to talk to Sheldon, as he made me, and I don't know my purpose. Did he tell you?
He did not tell me, Petrol.
That
so
voice
good.
is incredible.
It's so good.
So great.
It's so great that I can't look at you. Like, this needs to now to be back on, like, roll 20 with no camera.
There's like a holy light radiating.
It's
off
so
of it.
good.
You can't-
It's so good. I think Rocky, just do your Rocky.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Something like that.
It's something like that. And we got Rocky and a Russian. This is basically Rocky 4 right here, right?
Oh my god.
If he dies, he dies.
I will break you.
I will break you.
Anyways, back to it. Petrol's, we should go talk to him. There's so much that I need to learn. If you have a book, a training manual maybe, of Petrol 9000, maybe Petrol could find out his purpose.
Perhaps Steve will have one in office. You may be released to go to him now.
And Petrol will, thank you, Master. And he will jauntily walk over. The kids are playing with him, like, like just having a great time. And he's just walking. I mean, he's about 6 feet tall, so he's a normal human-sized creature, but he stops and plays with the kids and picks up some small things and plays with them as he's making his way over to Steve. Back to Bruce. Now that you've done that, you have a third day.
So I'm going to go back to Steve to see
Okay.
if he's written down or
Great.
deciphered my scroll.
Hey, you want that scroll?
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Here you go, bud.
Come at me, bro.
Hey.
And that this, all of a sudden, wherever you want the tattoo, I'm just going to say, where do you want the tattoo at?
Let's put it on my back.
Yeah. So the scroll disintegrates into this fiery dust, and then this energy pulses through, and right where you kind of chose, the tattoo forms with a red outline, and it's basically 2 beer cans. Mainly, but you don't know what beer is, but it's 2 beer cans for the most part. And you're like, ugh, you take 2 points of searing damage, but
okay.
as this sears into your body, but you now realize that you can state, come at me, bro, and you now have that ability. So for everybody that's listening, he's gained an ability, a glyph scroll, that to be able to point at one creature, say, come at me, bro, and they have to survive a Wisdom 15 check, and if they don't, they have to use their next turn to only attack him, so that they can, it's basically like a taunt, essentially. So that's been taken care of, and while you're being seared, the door does open, and Petrol enters. Going right past you, he has no manners. It's to Steve in a very uncomfortable bubble, like a foot away from your face, and he goes, Steve, I need assistance.
Well, all right. What can I do for you?
And he's just right there. You guys are face to face, and I need to know what I can do. They told me I could come talk to you. Can you help?
There might be a book in here. You could look around.
And he's going to turn and just it takes him not even 2 minutes to go through the entire library of looking for, I see nothing that would be helpful for me. I was made. None of this has any automaton instruction manuals. Could you do something else for me?
Coming on to me, Petrol?
I do not have sexual organs.
You want me to leave you two alone or something?
What does coming on mean?
It's like when a man and a woman, they like each other.
I do not understand. Is this what they call?
Gives him the like. You know what I mean?
He's going to reach out and fist bump you.
Oh no!
And
I mean that works too.
like
if that's
this?
the way you swing, but typically it's
The Petrol is super confused, and he's going to go, What is this called? Is
when
this?
you use 2? No, I'm not going to do that. You should go see Bert.
Who?
I like calling him Bert, but I think you guys all call him Sheldon.
Oh,
Not
should,
with that.
should,
no,
should
let's
I
not
ask
do that
Sheldon
no more.
what this means?
Don't do that no more.
I
We'll
will-
talk about.
I will-
I'll tell you
I
what.
will ask-
You go see Sheldon, and me and you'll talk about that later.
I will ask Master if he can explain what this means. I'm not accustomed to your natures. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The tattoo looks nice.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
So as the one thing that you guys have noticed, as he is going through and he is now reading, he is consuming languages like crazy. His vocabulary, which was very, very minimal, has now increased to fully length sentences, understanding basically more and more, so that he is growing. And you have noticed in these last 2 days where he's, what is my purpose, to can we have some fun? Now there's a bit more of knowledge as he's gaining, as he's reading these books and learning and talking to people. Just giving you that tidbit. Petrol walks out and heads to his master. And Steve, anything else between you two?
No, we're good.
Does that bring the end of your 3 days? You go back in the mine or anything
I go
like
back
that?
in the mine and help out where I can.
Sure.
'Cause Bruce likes being useful.
Oh yeah, they love seeing you. They hand you. You know what? They have made you the most pristine, large pickaxe you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I like that.
it
That's
takes
nice.
3 of the gnomes to carry it. And it's got, instead, you know where a hammer has a double edge, and like most pickaxes have a double edge? This one's more like a hoe, where it's one-sided, but it has 3 prongs out in the front, so you can just go doof and hit a large area and crush a big portion. And they bring it over and go, Bruce, we made you something.
Oh, thanks, guys. This is nice. And I pick it up and I spin it around. Like it's nothing.
That's so cool. Man, I want to be big like Bruce. And the other guy's like, no, don't do that. Don't. He's a blooming idiot. Have you heard him speak? Don't say that. And you're just sitting there spinning this thing now. When you head down that night on your 3rd day to go down and start wrecking through, you're able to produce double what you were able the first night. You'll just need to give me 2 checks looking for a total number, but both checks are going to be advantage. So you're going to roll 4 d20s and give me the 2. Yeah, so you're going to roll 4 d20s, take the 2 highest, and I need to know what that is. Yeah, you do the math and we'll come back. Okay. Basically, it's just to see how much you actually gain. So, peoples, now that these 3 days have gone by, you guys all meet up and you get some wonderful libations at their little tiny bar. There is only 3 tables. This is a small place for a giant and his robot, and the robot, good old Petrol, is sitting there holding a cup. Like, he doesn't have a mouth or anything, but he just wants to be a part of the family. And you guys are all sitting together. You have Jeff out. Jeff is sitting just purring on the table.
He's in my lap.
Oh, he's on. Okay, he's in your lap. Yeah, and he's just cracked out of his mind. The 4 of you are sitting together. Sheldon is sitting there as well, and the robot is just holding his drink, and you guys are all drinking. Is there anything you guys want to say or talk about at this time? You guys have the floor for just a minute.
I'll introduce everyone to Jeff. This is Jeff.
Oh, that's a pretty kitty.
He's a really awesome cat. He has some pretty sweet abilities. I can see through his eyes if he goes ahead of us. He also used to be a human, and his little soul merged with the cat. Yes, it did. And so...
How does Jeff feel about that?
Jeff, how do you feel about that?
Jeff is just sitting there just just like happy and just purring, and he's like,
I'm picturing like Cat Tyrone Biggins, and
Yes.
it's hilarious. He's
Yes.
like, y'all got any more of that catnip?
yeah. He's just he just got a nice dose of catnip, and he is just feeling it. And one of the legs comes out and just kind of stretches, and he looks over at you guys, and then he gives you guys the finger, and then he stretches back out.
I like your cat. That's cool.
He's just having a good time.
Steven needs to talk to Sheldon.
Okay, yeah, Sheldon's right next to you.
All right.
What's up, big guy?
Listen, we need to talk about payment for my services.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. I imagine you've learned quite a bit. I was really hoping you could probably tell me who actually have been siphoning, but if you can't, I can just give you a lump sum of money. You've been a great help.
We're still working on it, but I do want to discuss payment before the task is completed.
Yeah. What do you you want booty? You want money? You want gems?
I'll take some booty.
I want.
Oh, you want some booty? We can pay you in booty, but the problem is you're a little too big for. There's just gnomes here.
Oh, sorry.
You're like 12 feet tall.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Never mind.
Literally tripod. Sheldon's had a few drinks.
I want 30% of whatever we recover.
Fuck no.
Well,
Are you kidding me? That's
Good
so
luck.
much. There's one. That's so much. You know what I'll do? I will give you 50% of our next haul one time. You've been such a great help. No
Deal.
matter what is, that seems like a pretty good deal to me. We'll take a hit on this shipment, but then the next one will be good.
fair enough.
I have a guy, and Jax would have to introduce you, but if you guys are looking for some transportation, it's a large sum of money. If this shipment goes as well as we plan, they might just kind of trade for trade. I can introduce you.
All right.
Okay. And go ahead.
Are you gonna do that, or are we moving on? Because I
go
have
ahead.
one question.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So we need to.
Me and Steve, we still have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can help with that.
Okay,
Petrol speaks up,
Yeah.
and then he creates his hand again into a needle form, and then he goes, I healed your hand, but I think I can remove that if you want me to try.
Let's do it.
So he doesn't know he can. Where's my... Roll me a d20.
17.
Yeah. So he's able to take your wrist, and just like a tattoo artist, he just kind of goes back and forth just from starting at the top like an old matrix printer, and you see your skin going black where he's marking, and he gets all the way done, and then he just says, think it's done. I don't know how I know how to do these things, but it seems that I can do a lot with this.
That's cool.
And hopefully it can heal in a bit, but it looks like it's good. And so you start to see that blackness flake away, just like with a small breeze, and it just flakes away, and your skin is perfectly fine. It's gone.
Sweet, thanks. Petrol?
That will be 30 gold.
I gotta pay? Okay.
That's a joke.
I like this guy. He's awesome.
I learned that today from Steve. He's a wily one.
Steve is funny? Come on,
Master
Steve.
only beats me.
What do you mean Steve's funny?
Sorry. That's not real. I just wanted to say it. Master's mean to me. He gives me cattle prod. Sorry. That's
Petrol?
not canon. That's wrong.
You want to get rid of mine?
30 gold.
Okay.
And he brings it over. Ha ha ha. And just goes to town.
I think Steve is like full on manic at this point, so he's in excruciating pain, but he's like, wow, holy shit, that hurts.
Yeah, it is painful. Specifically painful because this is ripping a cursed portion from your body. I'm not going to have you take any damage, but the actual removal process is extremely painful. But he's able to do it so quick, and then it fades away. The blackness goes away, and then you're fine.
Sweet.
Is Petrol actually getting 30 gold from each one of them?
No.
Not with him, but for you. And gold, please.
Oh, I thought we were doing a joke.
Haha. Yes.
I have my strength chest, by the way, for the mining.
Yes.
58.
58.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, max. You just got max. You came up with a ton. They were so happy that you brought up all this, like an amazing amount. With the two of you, you brought up 3 carts. By yourself, you brought up 3 carts. Yeah. And they were just like, wow, throwing you a party. That's why there's so much libations tonight. People are partying because this is a haul and a half. The blacksmith and the jewelers are starting to get to work on the raw mining, as well as since they've already fed Krizwala for their next movement. So all of this is just profit. Sheldon's going to ask me like, hey, if you want, you can absolutely keep that. We made it for you. If you want to keep the pick, none of us can wield it. I mean, look how big it is.
Yeah, man, thanks. That's sweet.
Well, if you could, maybe one more day in the mine. There's not too much left. There's only one more node.
Tell you what, if you can make me something, well, I throw my ox and it comes back.
Oh.
I will do that for you.
Yeah, I just made you a magical item, and you want more magical item. You know, it's fine. It's whatever. Well, you know what?
No gold. You just give me that.
I think I can fit you in somewhere. I am making a second automaton. Sure. You want it to come back to you. That's it?
I hold my hand and it comes back to my hand.
Like a little hand axe?
Well,
Why not your big axe?
Yeah, my big axe would be sweet.
I'm not doing your big axe. I just do a little. Let me see what I got in the shed, and I can probably whip you up something by tomorrow.
Oh, thanks, man.
He's gonna look over at Voquis and be like, so it looks like Jeff really likes you. I'm glad he has a place. He's a jerk. Don't feed him too much. He starts to get in that coma territory, and when you call him, he's not gonna come out. He's a drug addict.
He's perfect.
Well, I mean, it looks like you fed him since I gave him to you, because he is in planet 0 right now. And he's gonna like prod like Jeff, and Jeff's just like just needing nothing in the air, just having a good old time.
I'm just like, oh, he's so cute.
Jeff is going to fart silently, and it's going to smell atrocious. It's one of those animal farts that when you smell it, it hits you in the face like, my breath, it's gone. And
Bruce takes big sniff. Oh, I can beat that.
if so, you're sitting right next. Oh no! The
Bruce,
two of you
please.
need to give me.
Make him roll for that to see if he shits himself.
Yeah, well, the two of you need to give me a Constitution save. The DC is 8, just to see if you just kind of throw open your mouth a little bit.
10.
For you.
Nat 20.
Oh, yeah, you just kind of go, oh, below me. Like, degenerate.
13.
13. Yeah, you both kind of just gag a bit, but you're able to keep it in, and
Why
just
is that
Jeff's
where
got
my
this weird cat smile going on. Petrol just kind of giggles. Ha ha. Like, that's it. You fart? Is that really what
I
you're doing?
wanna fart,
Okay,
yeah.
absolutely.
'Cause I think I can beat Jeff.
Well, you didn't gag from the smell
roll
of
a
Jeff,
10.
but you're going to give me at disadvantage a Constitution saving throw, and the DC to beat is 10.
At disadvantage.
Yeah.
So
I know,
you
I
take-
rolled twice.
Yeah, but you take the lower
Oh,
with
yeah, so it's
disadvantage.
10.
You got a 10?
I got 10.
Yeah, you just feel a little like it touched cotton, but it didn't come out. Like it just went
Secret
bloop,
whisper.
and like, oh no. But yeah, you let out this horrendous fart and people are running. It is just they are just not happy with that. The bartender brings you another, was bringing a tray over, it trips and just throws it down and runs out. It's just atrocious. Petrol just
What'd you think of that,
giggles
Balrog?
again. Balrog, anything? No, just drinking, having a good time. There's a lot of drinks being shared. This place is super lively. I didn't put any music on because my phone just died. So, but as you guys are having a great time, you're farting up and just being silly. The little door. I'm gonna say little door because they're gnomes. They have the normal door, and then they have like the doggy door next to it. So it's like a little door, like, and you hear
Are
it.
we just sitting on the floor because we're like the furniture doesn't fit
No,
us?
the houses and everything are normal size, but they do have like guest spaces. So you're like the only table that's normal size. Everything else is smaller. And the door opens up, and you hear a voice go, "Storm's coming!" And immediately Sheldon, his face kind of goes white, like, well, that was an opportune time, but we're just having fun. All right, everyone to their station, sound the alarm. And you hear a rolling thunder off in the distance. Lightning and different things happening. A storm's coming. And everyone is freaking out.
Oh.
So
we turn to should we help you or?
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't really say anything. Storms are a big deal. We don't get storms. If it's a big enough storm, we can actually make the transaction.
Make the trade.
Oh, you probably were just not listening.
We need to send Jeff in with the transaction and hide him in the shipment.
What, the cat?
Yes, the cat.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's up to
Voquis, how do you
Voquis.
feel about this?
I mean,
He can't be hurt, right?
You can see through his eyes.
You can see through his eyes. We need to figure out where this stuff's going.
so meta question.
Sure.
How far can I see through his eyes?
We're gonna say on the material plane.
Okay, cool.
that's not gonna...
On your plane. Sorry, not material plane. It has to be within your plane. If you left Jeff
So we're
and
trying.
traveled like
To the
8,000
Fey
miles,
Wild, yeah.
he would be like, "What's up, Jeff?" And you're like, "Ah, not again." Like you can see through it. He really hates it when you take him over, though. He hates it. Like
It'd be fun if you like looked.
it's like the most sobering thing ever. He could be just drugged out of his mind, but when you go through it, it's like, "Oh, what's going on today?" He's like, "Ah, not
You
again."
ruined his
Buzzkill.
Okay. So I'm gonna talk to Jeff, and I'm gonna say, "Hey Jeff, I'm gonna put you in a dark place so you can sleep for a little bit, and then when you wake up and come back to me, I'm gonna give you some more food, some more medicine."
Yeah, that would work great. You give me some bags of Pringles. You know, some mouthwash.
I'm
and,
writing down what he's saying.
Yeah, he just starts saying random things. He starts to forget after about the 12th item. What was the question again?
We're just gonna have you go to sleep, okay?
Well, don't kill me. I don't
no,
want to.
no.
Don't put me to sleep. I'm a good cat.
Jeff, you can't be put to sleep in that way.
Well-
You're a familiar. It's okay.
Well, I tell you, I'm so parched. If you could just a little bit of drink, maybe that would be great.
Give him some water.
Yeah, that's not what I. he laps it up. So he's just pathetic. Well, I don't mind going in a dark place, but like, how long am I gonna be gone?
Just a little bit. You won't even notice.
Well, you do know, like, after I leave for a really long time, I'll automatically come back.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Because, if you were going to send me to, like, another plane or something, I'd probably die.
No.
I don't think I can. And he's going to, like, mid-speech, he's going to stop speaking, and then all of a sudden, just meow, 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 meow. And he's just meowing, as if a cat is talking to you. And that's what you hear. You just stop hearing his voice.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to continue to pet him. Sheldon, when we do the transaction, does it go across planes?
Yeah!
Okay.
Sorry, Steve. I can't.
Oh, looks like you gave him a little too much. He went full cat. It's going to take him probably at least a couple days to come out of that coma. You can't... Is he meowing normal?
Yes.
Yeah, he's gone full cat. You can still use him, but he's not going to talk to you for a couple days. You drugged him too much. There's a limit.
Enabler.
So
I keep petting the cat.
if you want to sober him, like I said, all you have to do is go back through his eyes. You have to do that action. And if you do that action, it will insta-sober.
Yeah, but he's having such a good time.
It looks like it. He's a little bastard.
He's such a good kitty. I'm gonna say, so I take the note of everything that I've written down that he
Sure.
requested, and I put it in my bag.
Sure.
So that
it's like if you've ever had a really high friend ask, like, go to the store and buy me these things, that's what it seems like. It's just snacks. It's a snack list with some random toiletry things. It's just things that he needed. Which doesn't make sense because he's a cat. Yeah, go ahead.
And then I'm gonna say, so Sheldon, we're gonna help with the storm, I'm assuming. And then with the transaction, yes, Steve.
Put me in it.
What?
Put me in it.
Oh, yo, Steve, I don't think that's a good idea.
I
Steve,
said put
please.
me in it.
Oh, okay.
No, we got to figure out where it's going. We can't put the cat in there. Are you gonna go?
You get lost in the material plane. How are we gonna get you back?
We'll tie a rope off or something.
Well,
I don't know.
This is great and all, but I gotta go. You guys figure this out. If you want to come see what we're gonna do, you probably got about 4 minutes until the storm's here.
Why don't we send Petrol?
Niet.
All right, Steve it is. I'm going to follow Sheldon.
So, you follow him out, and the storm is rolling in. It is a huge storm. Like, you guys stopped at the edge of a mountain. That's where you guys traveled to last. This is a storm. As you look out over, it is rolling across all of the land. It's like Independence Day as the ship's coming through. Everything's billowing. There's lightning and some fire inside of it, and you're like, Sheldon goes, "Oh yeah, this is at least a 10.9. This is gonna be great. Looks like we got some young wormlings in there too. That just makes it better."
What is it? Oh, it's a wormling again?
Oh, it's like a baby dragon. Some of them they're attracted to the storm and then they stay in the storm, so it makes it really dangerous about what we're about to do. But hey, Jax, and you just hear this like, it's Jax, who you met. He is in a fully metalled, like, Iron Man basic suit. And he comes around the corner and goes, "Yeah, man, what's going on? Let's get on up. This can tie me up. We're going to fly. We're going to get all crazy." He's just over the top, 10.9. And he's like, "Oh, what this get on in?" And he's like, is that a 10.9? And he goes, "Strap me in." And you have a bunch of gnomes come over to Jax, and he puts out his arms, and they start putting leather straps, creating this webbing of very thin leather between his arm down to his legs, creating a flight suit.
No.
And he goes, "All right, strap me in the back." And they put a tether line, and they're over there. There's like 6 of them blowing on tubes, and a patched together balloon begins to form as they're throwing. And there's just this balloon, boop, 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 boop. It's getting bigger and bigger. All right, you guys got me on that. All right, keep on blowing, boys. And if anybody wants to go help, you can go help blow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go help blow.
Oh yeah. So
you, Petrol.
I got this.
you pick up the gnome, you put him to the side, and with one breath, you vomit into. There was no air in that. It was just pure vomit, and now everyone's vomiting around you. No,
Bruce had too much to drink, and he's just, "I gotta
the balloon begins to sink immediately as it's full with vomit. So no, you give a huge breath, and it's like, and it gets real big real quick. It gets to a certain size. And they put a small unit underneath. There is just hustle and bustle in this town. I mean, everybody knows what they're doing. Multiple people are putting on these metal suits. They're webbing up, and they're blowing up multiple balloons. There's 4 of them in total. And what they're doing is they're creating weather balloons, essentially, if that makes sense. And so they get to a certain height. They put a contraption on the bottom of the balloon. They attach Jax and the other 3 flyers to the balloon, and the storm starts rolling in. Okay,
Yo,
so
Steve,
we're
you got
just going to
armor,
play it without
at
the
least?
sound.
You got armor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sheldon, after you guys have been
And
talking, he
magic.
comes back over and he goes,
good.
"All right,
You
you
know
guys
magic.
ready for the show? This is really cool. We came up with this idea. We take flyers, we fly the gnomes up, and then they keep the wormlings away while we send up the portal. The lightning, it actually charges the portal, creates it, and then we send it through. So this is quite a lot of stuff. I know. Everyone's got a job here. As you can see over there, they've loaded all the mine with all the stuff. It's basically just a small box because it's actually a box of holding. They put all the gems inside. It weighs a lot more than it looks. It's a small box. This is the pride and joy. We send this up, and then that's got to get through the portal. Jax is the only one that goes through. Then he comes back later by horse. So it takes a while sometimes, or he finds a way. I don't know how he gets back. But he always comes back with the money. The other 3, they got to keep the wormlings off. And then, as you see over here, what they've constructed is a 20-foot radius gnomish, think of like Stargate, but like very rudimentary, held by some pipings, a lot of runic symbols, and they're attaching those 4 balloons to them. And he goes, "All right, well, as it's coming in, we're ready. Go ahead and send them up." You hear like a little horn, and then they release, and the
Are you gonna jump in?
well, let me get through the explaining of that, and then I'll let you jump in. The teleporter goes up, and then more balloons are attached to the flyers. We just use it to go up past it, and then we cut them, and then we fly. So we don't get those balloons back. Balrog sorry, I said Balrog. Bruce, you're helping blow up the other balloons. Yeah, it's super fast. They're like, "Wow, this is awesome." They send it up. They send up the 4 flyers. Anything at this moment?
I want to ask Sheldon if he's got anything in my size, so I can go with him.
No. I didn't think that. I mean, I guess you could get in the box, but there's no air in there. You guys all want to go up there with it? I mean, how you? How
No, they
you're gonna?
don't. I do.
You do. I
Yes.
can't let you do that. You got work to do.
That's why I need to go up there.
Well, you can send somebody else that doesn't do my books. You have so much more
Nobody
to
else
find.
wants to go.
I think I know what must be done. Petrol,
All right.
Petrol goes. Yes, master.
we need to send you in the box. Please be very careful on journey.
What am I supposed to do in the box?
Stay put and listen.
You want me to stay in the box?
Can
Yes.
I talk to Petrol? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Petrol, someone is stealing the stuff. I need you to find out who they are.
They stealing me from the box?
No, someone is stealing the gems and whatnot that are in the box.
So you want me to stay with the gems?
Yes, so you can find out who is stealing them and bring them to me.
He kind of cocks his head a little bit. It's the first time you've seen him actually move his head in a human manner. It's just a pylon of metal. And you hear this. You want me to stay with the gems and then find out who's stealing them? That seems like a big job. You sure you want me to do this?
I trust you, Petrol.
Master, is this okay?
Yes.
Do we want him to just gather information and come back? Because I feel like if he just stays with the gems, he's gonna stay over there. We
No,
might
I told
wanna
him. I told him.
specify.
I told him to stay with the gems, find out who's stealing them, get them, and bring them to me.
You want me to bring the person back here?
Yes, ideally alive, but you know.
It is snatch and grab.
How?
Bring them alive.
So I know I'm real dumb, guys, but if we sell the gems, wouldn't Petrol just follow the guy we sold the gems to?
Follow the money. I read this in a book
Oh,
earlier today. You want me to find out who it is, snatch and grab them?
Yes.
Do you have a bag I can put them in?
Anybody got a bag?
Does anybody have bag?
Sheldon's gonna go, yeah, how about this? And he's gonna hold up a bag of holding, but it has a straw coming out of the top.
Ah.
He goes, put them in this, and they'll suck on the straw so they don't die. There's food in there.
there's food in there.
Perfect.
Thank you. Can I get in the box now?
Yes.
Can I take any books to read while I go?
Talk to Steve.
Yeah. I mean, they're Sheldon's books, but I'm sure he'll let you have a couple.
Sheldon, may I have my manual?
Oh,
Sheldon goes,
You know, guys, sometimes too much control can be a bad thing for robots. I recommend not doing this.
Sheldon looks is the same as you. He goes, about that, I kind of just made you. I don't really know what you can do.
Bruce.
What do you mean
Bruce
you don't know?
Spelling books. Who read these? Is help read.
I read this yesterday. Thank you. I will use it to draw.
Okay, draw me pretty pictures.
I will do that. May I have manual? My manual.
We don't have a manual for you.
Crap. Sheldon, he goes, well, I have a manual. It's not your manual. Maybe you can learn some, but it's really up to your master. I can't. He's going to take a small booklet out from behind him. He goes, it's my notes when I made you. And he's going to hand it to you,
Oh, that seems-
Balrog.
Relatively harmless, right?
Well, we got like 1 minute.
Yeah.
So make a decision. He's got to get in the box like now.
So I'm gonna hold it. I'm just gonna hold on to it.
He goes, Master, what else can I read then? I want to learn. You have options. There's a bunch of books you could give him, but we're going to say that you just magically will have the book, but it's up to you what you give him at this point, as he is asking to.
So I think at this point, what Balrog will do is give him several language books. at that point to where he can learn when he's on his journey. He's able to learn more languages. Certainly a benefit to the team, I think, at that point.
Let's do this. Pick 3 languages.
Elven? None of us know Elven, right?
How about this? Let's go around the table.
I have Elven.
You know Elven.
I've got Abyssal, Common, and Dwarvish.
You speak Dragon. I speak Giant and Common.
And Gnomish.
He needs a Orc.
I'll give you 2 languages.
Okay.
But it has to make sense that they would have these books. It's not every language, so it has to be somewhat common.
Right.
So probably Gnomish.
I speak Gnomish.
Oh, you do? Oh. But if he doesn't speak Gnomish and they go up there and they're all speaking Gnomish.
That's a good point.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
So Gnomish?
So Gnomish, yeah, that
Gnomish.
certainly makes
Okay.
sense.
And what's the second language book?
I'm going to have to kind of go on you with me being so new.
What do you think, Kate?
Let's say Giant.
Something that makes sense. I mean, we don't.
If you want to be creative and come up with 2 other random books as like throwaways,
Spanish.
you know what? Well, we're gonna do this. Here, I got this. He's going to so Petrol over these few days, he has been following you, but he's been gathering some things as he is somewhat of a collector, and he has a small like knapsack around his back that he keeps. It's just one of those crosses, and he goes, well, I have a couple of books. I guess I could just read these. This is very nice, Gnomish. This could become very, very helpful. Thank you, Master. Is it okay if I read this one? I took it from the library. And he's going to take out a small... Think of it like a ledger, but not the ledger.
The ledger.
It's just it's a book, and then the other one has a lewd drawing on the front. I have these. They're the last 2 that I have to read.
No, who put you up to this? Was it Bruce?
Hey, man. He's a man. He needs to learn about being a man.
These, I don't understand. These were just the last 2. They were hidden, so I
Nothing
grabbed
wrong
them.
with the Karma Sutra, okay, man?
Ye old hustler.
It's 40
homebrew edition.
24 shades of gnome.
Yeah.
He needs that one for sure.
Is this okay, Master?
I guess.
Thank you. And he puts
Do we
it.
have any like mystery fiction or anything that we
What is
can
he?
give
Nancy
him?
Drew? What do you
That's actually no. I like where your head's at
Like,
here. I'm with
I don't
you.
want a meta, but like
I just picked 2 that was off the top of my head.
That's
so.
fine. Let's roll with
Well, he
it.
said he
Okay.
read a book about following the money, so I guess.
yeah.
So as he, Sheldon takes him by the hand and brings him over, and he's really scared. His demeanor is like shrinking every time there's a thunderstorm, just like a dog does, just like, and he, will I be safe in the box? Oh yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah. And that doesn't sound very reassuring. And then he brings his arms in a bit and brings his legs down, kind of like shrinking himself, and he gets inside the box. And as I keep saying Sheldon, and I keep wanting to say Chris Walla. As Sheldon's putting the box top back over, he goes, why don't you read this too? And drops in a couple things and then shuts. And then he latches down the couple straps on the top. The thunder is crazy. It is downpouring. You guys are completely soaked. It's sheets of rain. Above you, you see lightning and then see fire and then lightning and then some green and then lightning. And it's up there. You can see the portal way up there, a good, we're saying like a half a mile up there. And you see all of a sudden the balloons go... And then the flyers just kind of flying around. These wormlings come out of the clouds, dive bombing these flyers as they send up 3 balloons attached to the box going north. Lightning is striking the portal, and it's starting to glow and strike some different colors as the portal begins to activate up in the sky. And then you hear a siren start to go off, and like the 1942, and everyone's like, get ready, they're coming. The wormlings are not attacking the flyers. They're diving straight down for Chris Walla. Roll initiative. Bum, bum, bum.